Tonight, let your eyes rest, let your shoulders loosen, let the day fall away like a sail being lowered at dusk. Imagine an island off the southern Chinese coastline, salt in the air, palms whispering, and lantern light trembling on the water like a warm, golden sigh. On that island lived a sailor named Hai, not a famous sailor, not a hero carved into stone, just a quiet man who knew tides the way some people know lullabies. He knew how the sea changes color when the moon is shy. He knew the sound of a rope pulled through wet hands. He knew that water remembers. Hai had heard many stories, some from traveling merchants, some from old fishermen who spoke slowly, as if their words were boats crossing fog. They spoke of the vast mainland, of mountains like sleeping dragons, of cities built from poems, of deserts that sing, of rivers that carry whole histories in their current. And they spoke of wisdom too, not the loud kind, but the kind that arrives like dawn, quietly, steadily, without argument. One evening, when the sky was the color of ripe lychee, Hai stood by his small boat and said to the sea, "Teach me something beyond salt and wind." The sea didn't answer with words. It answered by becoming very still, as if opening a path. So Hai prepared a simple journey, a kettle, a worn map, a bamboo flute, and a notebook with blank pages that smelled faintly of rice paper. And just before sunrise, he pushed his boat into the water and set his bow toward the Jade Strait. The strait was neither cruel nor gentle. It was simply true. Currents braided under the boat like invisible threads. Seabirds followed like quiet witnesses. Hai breathed in, and the air tasted of beginnings. Halfway across, the sea mist rose thick and pearly. The world softened, time softened, even the line between past and present grew thin. In the mist, Hai heard a distant bell, not a ship bell, not a temple bell, but something in between. And then, without fear, he realized he was no longer only crossing water. He was crossing into a mainland that contained many Chinas at once, some ancient, some modern, some remembered, some dreamed. When his boat kissed the shore, the sand felt warm under his bare feet. He bowed not to a person, but to the land itself. And the mainland, in its vast patience, welcomed him. One, the gentle Jiangnan, where rain speaks softly. Hai traveled first along rivers and canals, following water because water felt like home. Soon he arrived in Jiangnan. Here, the air was mild, the light was tender. Willow branches combed the surface of the canals. Stone bridges curved like a smile. A drizzle drifted down, quiet as silk. He entered a town where white walls and black tiles leaned toward each other like old friends. Inside a tea house, a woman poured tea with hands as calm as moonlight. Her voice was gentle and reserved. She did not ask where he came from. She only asked, "Are you tired?" Hai nodded, and she placed a warm cup near his palms. The tea smelled like orchids and distant hills. Outside, a storyteller spoke to a small crowd, but his story moved slowly, as if he didn't want to startle anyone's heart. He said, "In this region, even sorrow learns to be graceful." I watched a painter make a landscape with only a few brushstrokes. Mountains suggested, water implied, mist left empty on purpose. The painter smiled and said, "Wisdom is not always what you add. Sometimes it is what you allow to remain empty." I wrote that down. Then he walked through rain that felt like a blessing. 2. The Grand Chang'an, where history breathes. From Jiangnan, I followed an ancient road. The stones beneath his sandals were older than names. One night, he slept beside a road marker, and when he woke, the sky looked different. The wind carried drumbeats, caravans passed, camels, bells, cloth, spices. The world had shifted. I had stepped into the time of Chang'an, vast, grand, and alive with many languages. The city gates rose like a mountain of human intention. Inside, broad avenues, lanterns like floating suns, scholars debating quietly, soldiers marching like a single breath, musicians plucking strings that sounded like falling stars. I stood near a market where a foreign merchant sold blue glass beads. A monk from the west carried scrolls. A poet from the east carried sleeplessness in his eyes. The poet looked at Hai and said, "Traveler, do you come for fame?" Hai shook his head. "I come for wisdom." The poet laughed softly. "In Chang'an, wisdom is everywhere, and so is distraction. If you want the first, you must learn to bow to the second and walk past it." At a temple courtyard, Hai listened to a bell ring so deeply that it felt like the sound was washing his bones. An old monk handed him a broom, not a scroll, not an answer, a broom. Hai swept fallen leaves in silence, one leaf, then another, a small act, repeated patiently. When the courtyard was clean, the monk said, "Some people travel to collect sights, some travel to collect ideas, but the wise travel to collect simplicity." I wrote that down too. Then he watched the city's lanterns flicker against the night and felt grateful that time itself had let him pass through. 3. The exotic Yunnan, where clouds have color. As Hai continued south and west, the land changed its accent. The mountains rose green and fragrant. The air grew thinner, clearer. He arrived in Yunnan, a place where the sky sometimes looks close enough to touch. In a village, he met people whose clothing carried bright threads like stories, embroidered patterns that resembled rivers, birds, and ancient symbols. A young girl laughed as she braided flowers into her hair. An elder offered him tea that tasted lightly smoky, like a hearth in winter. At dusk, the clouds turned rose gold, then violet, then deep indigo, as if the heavens were slowly changing robes. A local guide walked with Hai along a terraced hillside. Here, the guide said, we do not try to conquer the mountain. We learn its curves. We plant according to its patience. In the night, Hai joined a circle of dancers near a fire. Their steps were steady, rhythmic, grounded. The drum beats reminded him of the ocean, not the sound, but the certainty. An old woman spoke to him in a voice like low wind. She said, wisdom is not always in books. Sometimes it is in the way people sit together, sharing warmth, sharing silence, sharing time. Hai felt his chest soften. He realized he had been chasing wisdom like a distant horizon, when sometimes wisdom is a fire shared on an ordinary night. For the vast northeast, where the earth is flat and the sky is wide, from Yunnan, Hai traveled, and with each step, the seasons turned like pages. Spring became summer, summer leaned into autumn, and one morning, he woke to air so cold, it felt like the world had become crystal. He had reached the northeast, cold, vast, flat, and honest. Fields stretched like a quiet ocean of land. The sky was enormous, a bowl turned upside down, and the wind ran across it with nothing to block its path. In a small town, Hai met a man wearing a thick coat and a friendly grin. The man's voice was loud and warm, the kind that makes you feel less alone. He invited Hai in for a meal. The stove crackled. Steam rose from dumplings like tiny clouds. They ate slowly, listening to the winter outside. The man said, "Out here, we don't decorate our words too much. Life is hard, so kindness must be simple." Later, Hai watched people shovel snow for an elderly neighbor without being asked. No ceremony, no speech, just action, steady as breathing. Hai wrote in his notebook, "Kindness in cold places is not poetic, it is practical, and that practicality is its beauty." That night, when Hai lay down under thick quilts, he felt the deep quiet of the north enter his bones. It was not loneliness, it was spaciousness. Five, the city that cannot be found on maps. One evening, somewhere between regions, between mountain and plain, between a river and a road, Hai encountered a city that was not on his map. Its gate was made of old wood, smooth from countless hands. Its streets were lined with lanterns that flickered like thoughts, and each building seemed to be made from a different era. One door looked Tang, one window looked Ming, one alley smelled of modern rain on asphalt. A guard at the gate asked, "What do you carry?" Hai answered honestly, "Questions." The guard nodded and let him in, as if questions were a valid passport. In this city, Hai met strange, gentle people. a scholar who spoke in riddles, a street vendor who sold memories in small paper packets, a child who claimed she could hear the sound of tomorrow. Hai bought one packet of memories. Inside was nothing, just air. He looked confused. The vendor smiled. "Of course it's empty," she said. "Memories are not objects. They are spaces we return to." In a quiet courtyard, Hai met a librarian who was half shadow, half moonlight. The librarian said, "In this city, each traveler finds the book that matches their heart." He handed Hai a book with blank pages. Hai opened it. At first, nothing. Then, slowly, faint ink appeared. Not words, but images. A teacup in Jiangnan, a bell in Chang'an, a fire in Yunnan, snow in the northeast. Hai understood. The book was not teaching him new wisdom. It was teaching him to recognize what he already knew. Before Hai left, the librarian said, "Marco Polo traveled to describe cities to an emperor. You travel to describe your own mind to your own heart. Remember, the wisest map is the one that makes you kinder." Hai bowed deeply, and when he walked out, the city vanished behind him like mist dissolving in morning. Six, returning, but not the same. After many months, or maybe many centuries, Hai felt a gentle pull, like tide calling tide. He found himself once again near the coast. The air grew salty. Seabirds returned to the sky. He rented a small boat, and as he sailed back across the Chongzhou Heisai, the water looked exactly the same, yet he was different. The sea mist rose again, soft and pearly. Hai did not try to hurry through it. He let it wrap around him like a blanket. In the mist, he heard that bell again, not outside, but within. When Hai stepped onto his island shore, he didn't rush to tell people what he'd seen. He simply walked slowly, feeling sand beneath his feet, as if it were a miracle. He visited the old fishermen, and when they asked, "Did you find wisdom?" Hai smiled. He said, "I found many places, many faces, many ways of living. And I learned something simple. Wisdom is not a trophy, it is a practice." He said, "In Jiangnan, wisdom is the emptiness you allow. In Chang'an, wisdom is walking past distraction. In Yunnan, wisdom is warmth shared in community. In the Northeast, wisdom is practical kindness. And in the city not on maps, wisdom is learning to recognize what your heart already knows." That night, Hai sat near the shore. He played his bamboo flute, softly, so softly that even the waves had to lean in to listen. And as you listen now, you don't have to travel anywhere. Your body is the boat, your breath is the tide, your mind can drift gently, safely toward rest. If thoughts come, let them come like lanterns on water, appearing, floating, passing. If you are still awake, that's okay. The sea never rushes the shore. It returns again and again, patiently, until the sand remembers calm. Now, soften the forehead, unclench the jaw, let the tongue rest, let the chest be heavy, let the belly be soft. And when sleep arrives, let it arrive like a boat, returning home quietly, without effort, without needing to prove anything. Good night.